Hey, everybody, and welcome back again to another episode of Wish You Were Beer. This is a weekly live beer review show where we go through a beer, go through a brewery, something we haven't had, somewhere we haven't been. Sometimes, every now and again, we get somewhere we've been. But if you'll do me a favor, down in the About section, there's a like and subscribe button. It'd be great if you could push either one of those.
Or both.
Or both.
Be crazy.
Go nuts. Also, if you notice on the banner and also down in the bottom of the page as well, we've got our Instagram page as well as our Untappd handles. So Untappd is our social beer drinking app that we use to check in our beers and find new beers and see how early other people here drink beer in the morning. But you can follow us.
We have been off work all week.
True story, yeah. So anybody who does follow us, if you see my check-in early, it's not because I forgot last night. It's because I'm having an early morning beer, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, you had to cut the one.
Yeah, yours has been getting pretty early. I think I've been waking up to them. So
hey, well, you're in a different time zone now. That doesn't count.
It's still pretty early. I'm up at 6.
So that being said, we got a bunch of different avenues that you can follow us on. We try to keep some uploaded content on our YouTube channel as well of some individual check-ins. Phil's been doing great at cutting down some of our original interviews and going back through some of his places that he's been and doing some good videos. So make sure you check all that out as well. As always, I'm Daniel. This is Tiffany. That's Phil, who I assume is at the Kabul airport. Are you okay, bud?
I'm doing all right. I have cell service, as we just found out, so that's a plus. But yeah, I'm in sunny Los Angeles. Can't you tell from this beautiful backdrop of palm trees? And
actually, everything about this room screams Los Angeles to me like nothing else. So that's perfect.
Yeah, I need you to get a green screen and like use one of those fancy Zoom backgrounds that you pick from that never work. They never work for me, and I think part of it is my hair. So I'll be like in a meeting and it's like chopping hair off, and it's probably more distracting than me just having a messy
100%.
100% your hair. I'm still in temporary kind of housing, which also this backdrop is the perfect name for temporary housing. So I promise if I eventually get settled in somewhere, I'm gonna have something nice. I'm gonna have like a nice map, maybe. Oh no, you guys already got the map.
Yeah, where's Steve? I mean, you could just pin him up anywhere.
I have, you know what? That's a great point. Maybe I should pop Steve up there at some point, but he has not been returning my calls. I don't know where he is.
I mean, he's on the moon, and you've abandoned him for sunny California. So
he's pretty upset about it.
Yeah.
So how you been doing out there? You've only been out there like what, 2 weeks now?
Yeah, 2 weeks. I got a car, which I have not owned a car in 10 years. So it was an exciting day to finally buy a car.
I did.
Big day. Congratulations.
Oh, no, sorry. Depressing day because now I have to pay for a car. Depressing. That's what I meant.
They didn't give it to you?
No, it's not given to me. No. You don't just show up in LA and they just hand you a convertible. That's what the 90s TV told me. But
well, yeah, that's what Motley Crue told me, and obviously lied.
You're using the wrong rental service. They just gave me whatever I asked for. They're like, "Oh, Tiffany."
So the real question is, now that you're new out there, have you found a beer spot yet?
I have not found a bar yet to go in, but I have found a beer shop.
Like a bottle shop?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
It's called Sunset Beer Company. It's down on Sunset, obviously, which I'm near. It's a great little shop. It's not too big, but they've got like just beer stacked up everywhere, refrigerators. It's kind of a fun little shop to go into, and I have spent all my car money at the beer shop. So
good. So this is going well in month 1.
Yeah, things are great. I'm hungry. If you guys could, sign up for Beer Drop, I could get $10 off.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Look
at that.
Just had one arrive like within 30 minutes of this show starting. I forgot to turn it off this month because we had discussed not getting it this month.
So much beer in our fridge.
It's fine.
That's not a problem.
So
Yeah.
we use a lot of Beer Drop on the show, which is a subscription-based service where you get different beers. You get to pick your beers. They're based out of Colorado, so there are a lot of Colorado beers in there. The beer we're having tonight's from Colorado, but you do get a lot of variation, and that makes it easy for us being in different places to get the same beer. Because basically anything you get through Beer Drop can be shipped throughout the states.
At least I think I don't know if it's every state.
At least between the states we're in. So that works
sorry,
for us.
Alaska.
Right.
I don't know what to tell you. But we use a lot of Beer Drop. We also use Tabor, and a lot of times we've been just kind of finding some odds and end beers as well, that places where we can get the same ones as each other. So we try to keep our beers posted, but if you do check out Beer Drop, there's a link down there. You can get $10 off on your first order.
Yep.
It also gives us $10 off, and
I think there's a
that's like
discount.
2 beers.
I think there's a discount for Tabor as well.
Is there?
Yeah,
I'm
there
not
is.
stealing Tabor.
Okay,
That's
good,
kind of
good.
newer for us, so I apologize to
It's not newer.
Mr. Tabor.
We've
I
been
assume.
using Tabor forever. It's just been a while since we've talked about it on this show.
Fair.
I got real good at ordering beer online during the pandemic
True story.
because that's not a problem.
That's not a problem at all.
What do you mean I can't go into the stores?
Uh,
Like breweries are all shut down? I don't know.
Oh, I noticed you guys went into a new beer shop.
Oh,
We did, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that was posted on our Instagram at wish dot whatever it is at the bottom.
It's got there.
There's a lot of dots.
We did. They opened so they're still in their soft opening. They're still getting in the fridges and various items and still working on stocking their shelves. But there's a town of Pocosin. It's very small, very quaint. And they just opened a bottle shop, and the guys there are great.
Yeah, so they're born and raised in Pocosin and wanted to bring beer to that area that really isn't available. There's literally a Food Lion, 2 little small bars.
Food Lion is like a Safeway.
Yeah, it's like a grocery store.
Okay.
And so there's also 2 little small bars that it's kind of a waterman town, a lot of fishing, a lot of crabbing, a lot of things like that. So most of the bars are relatively Bud Light, Miller Lite, kind of some of your standard bar life. So there's just 2 kids from Pocosin who wanted to bring good beer to that area because they thought there was a market for it. And so we went in there, and it was one of their soft opening days, so there was no one in there.
Yep.
We probably spent an hour chatting with these guys because they were so excited to show us all the beer they had got in and they were excited about and what they had tried before they bought it. And it was just a really good feel. And they're called Early Birds Bottle Shop. They do wine, beer. They've got some local art.
They have their own merchandise. They have some
I'm wearing
dry
their
rubs.
hat currently.
Yes. They have some dry rubs and barbecue sauces, and a lot of the stuff is from local people. A while back, we actually posted about Bloody Mary at some point because I needed one after drinking beer.
Correct.
Daniel used a mix that I grabbed at a farmer's
Did you
market.
call me Danielle?
I said Daniel.
I think you said Danielle.
She wishes.
Really, because you know that.
Funny story, Danielle.
No.
Is my best friend growing up.
Oh, okay. I thought that was going a different direction.
Anyway, Bloody Mary mix. I found at a farmer's market is being carried there as well, and it is very good. So anyway,
Nice.
a lot of local stuff, great people, good selection, and continuing to grow with what they've got. So if you're in the area, you should check them out. All right. So for those of you who have not seen our show, we have multiple segments, and we will kind of walk you through that as we go. This kind of first section, after we kind of chit-chat here, is our trivia section, or our history and facts.
Oh, I think we have a thing for that.
Do we?
Yeah. Will never cease to be my favorite.
That is my favorite.
I wasn't prepared for it because we haven't even announced the beer we're drinking yet.
Doesn't matter.
Well, now let's go into the facts as to what we're drinking.
There we go.
So, we are drinking Hop U 13.0, and it's from Storm Peak Brewing Company, and they are out of Steamboat Springs in Colorado.
Sounds like a huge town.
It is. It is. From everything I read, it's not. The people who started this brewery, they were born and raised in Denver, and Steamboat Springs was one of the locations they went to like vacation every summer. And when they were looking to originally open up their microbrewery, there was, Denver's full of them, and so they were having a hard time finding the right space and then finding the right market where, it wasn't just stiff competition with everybody else.
Sure.
And then they were realizing that they used to go vacation in Steamboat Springs and that there really wasn't a whole lot of microbreweries up there, and some like locations became available, and so that's where they decided to open.
Nice.
So I have not been, but seems like a nice place.
Sounds like a nice place.
I was watching our Telluride because I posted our interview with Chris Fish today, actually. So I was rewatching it, and then he was talking about how, like, when they opened up, like, people were like, "Oh, you're crazy for opening up this brewery in this small town that's like 7 hours away from a major city." And I was like, that sounds like the perfect place to open up a brewery.
Yeah. There's a reason I moved there, one of which is the brewery.
Yeah. But like, opening up one in like a small town means like the entire town is going to show up. Like, everyone's going to be so proud of like their hometown brewery. So it just seems I
always think of it like the Restaurant Impossibles or Bar Impossibles when they redo something and the whole town shows up. I'm like, that's every like microbrewery in an area like this.
Yep. I think as long as you do it right,
Correct.
like you'll be just fine.
Which we're having a beer from them in Virginia and California,
Right.
so can't be doing so bad.
Right. So,
Yeah.
Kudos to Beer Drop for like making that a readily available thing.
For sure.
And a lot of the other breweries that are in the Denver, like the greater Denver area, they're doing a lot. And actually, I just saw they have they just started like beer, working with another brewery out of like Columbus, Ohio. That could have just been what we were reading about earlier.
No, that was Brewdog. Yeah,
We were talking about the Brewdog just opened a new hotel that we've been discussing. It was outside of Colorado, like.
So, another state or
Yeah, like
okay.
like they're broadening their.
Just trying to follow you. So if we were on this map, because technically all of this is outside of Colorado.
All right. So this is a Smash hoppy, which is a hoppy lager. Is that what I'm learning?
Correct. So somewhere in the questions is a question on what a hoppy lager is. So we will get there. But because this is a Smash variant of a beer, I thought it'd be fun to figure out what the acronym was. So if you are logged into not New York, I'm reading Vero's.
If you're logged into New York, you can.
I'm reading Vero's posts over here. If you are logged into YouTube and maybe Facebook, I don't know how it works. But if you're logged into YouTube, you can comment along with us. There is a significant delay from what we've heard. However, I'll try to read real slow.
Don't worry, I'm really slow, so it usually takes me a minute.
As we go through these questions, and you can answer alongside. So, what does SMASH stand for? A, single malt and single hop. B, simple malt and simple hop. C, some malts and some hops. D, sort of malty and sort of hoppy.
There's a part of me that wants it to be some malts and some hops. I don't know. We kind of figured it out.
We had some of the other, and then we called it Smash.
Some of these, some of those.
Yeah, then we realized we needed a name for when this happens.
Well, honestly, so Vero's going with A, which normally she's right. And as much as that hurts me at a core level, I think that is the one that makes sense because I'm not familiar with this acronym.
You were asking about it earlier, and I need you to wait for trivia.
Yeah. So I'm also going to go with A.
So for me, much like Brett, like we were dealing with last week, I've never really paid attention. I've never really seen Smash on a beer before. So this is completely new for me as well. But I will have to say, like, I'm going to go with A as well because the other ones just don't quite seem worthy of an acronym.
The other one sounds like Tiffany typing away in a corner and laughing.
I was. So we're not working this week, and so I was like, oh, I need to like work on my trivia, and so I'm sitting there, and I had this face like, And he's like, what are you doing? And I was like, trivia. And he's like, oh,
Oh.
I know that face. You're
Yeah.
thinking. And then I was like, and I started like,
She like chuckle housing and typing, and I bet it was sort of malty and sort of hoppy. God damn it!
I needed one more S word.
So we're all going with A then.
Yeah. And A is correct.
Single malt and single hop.
Right.
Which
So-
makes sense.
The Smash is a relatively unusual. I mean, we said we haven't seen this before. It's also apparently difficult to do because it's single malt, single hop, and you also only get one yeast strain to use as well. So it's kind of you get one of everything, and that's how you need to make this taste how you want it. And that kind of takes a lot of like the creativity out of it, but also at the same time, like really makes it so you have to like know what you're doing.
Well, yeah, I was going to say that probably makes it more difficult in the sense that you can be creative as hell and come out with a weird beer. Somebody will like it, but to make a consistently small batch, or like not small batch, but small like volume and small ingredient beer, that's probably hard to pull off consistently.
Right.
I would think.
Yeah. So
I would say so too, since I've never really seen it anywhere. So I have to imagine
we've seen a couple of them. Precarious has done a smash beer.
Have they?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I was saying Darrow found the head brewer at a local brewery near her and was guiding her to the smash that he had made that was at the bottle shop that she was at. So
was it at his house?
No, she was very concerned that this man was like making beer.
Just throwing it out there.
In his bathtub. Darrow is in New York City. So she was like, this man is sitting here drinking a beer at this
come to my apartment. I've got a smash for you.
But yeah, so he's the head brewer at Torch and Crown. But yeah, so I guess he had made one and it was at the bottle shop. So that's what she is drinking tonight.
Cool.
That's the brewery I used to live right next to, pretty much.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I may have had the beer and I just didn't even know it. You know.
It was a smash beer, Phil. You've already had it.
Tenement?
What's
that? But anyway, that's kind of the smash in general. It's just the rule is you only get one ingredient of each, so it makes it a little bit trickier, especially when brewing a non-traditional beer. So, for example, this hoppy lager is kind of a mix of what you would assume it is. We'll get there in another question.
Okay.
But because it's not like a traditional German Pilsner where it is like very much so like you only get 5 ingredients anyway, it kind of makes it a little bit more difficult.
This feels like a Food Network challenge show where it's like you get 3 ingredients, you got to make a beer with it.
Here's your picnic basket. Good luck.
Yeah.
You kicked off the show. I love it.
All right. So, true or false? Storm Peak Brewing started as a 7-barrel brew house and produced 350 barrels in their first year.
I mean, I would buy that for their location.
Yeah. And we did say they were a microbrewery. And if I can remember from a past episode, we talked about the barrel amount for microbreweries.
Correct. You remember that number?
Oh, of course not. No.
Oh, perfect.
But this sounds familiar.
I do remember that.
Look, one of these days, this trivia is really going to mean something. And I am going to really do my research.
Trivia after that. Okay. There's one true again. Perfect. I'm obviously 2 for 2.
Yep, that's where I went too. So
honestly, are we emailing these answers to Vero? I don't know at this point.
All right, it is true.
Son of a bitch.
So like I mentioned, there's 2 brothers, Wyatt and Tyler, and 3 brothers. Sorry, Wyatt, Tyler, and Zach Patterson. They were living in Denver, and they used to vacation up to Steamboat Springs, which is just 3 hours away in the mountains. So anyway, they co-founded this microbrewery, and they started as a 7-barrel brew house. And then after 2.5 years, they actually outgrew the original location they had picked and moved a mile down the road, and they have now a 20-barrel brew house.
Nice.
So in 2019, they produced 2,200 barrels. Don't know what they were doing in 2020 or 2021, but they're still doing well. The fact that they're still producing beer and it's now being shipped outside of their location. So probably drastically bigger than that even. So anyway, true.
Or they leveled off and was like, this is the perfect amount for us. We can distribute and we can serve like the local community and like, because there's some folks we talk to that are fat and happy with that really aren't interested in the distribution game of going, national or international. They can make some money and serve some good beer and do some good work for the community and have a little spot for the community, and everybody's fine with that.
Yeah.
So it's always interesting to me because we do meet some people that are on both ends of that spectrum.
Yeah.
That are high production. How do we grow? How do we do this? And then some people that are low production and fat and happy with it. Everybody's eating dinner. Everybody's drinking good beer.
I would say you find that in every occupation.
Sure.
In fact, you've got people who are trying to like grow and excel and move up the ladder, so to speak, and then people who are just cool. I am paying all my bills. I have time to do whatever I want on the weekends or evenings. So.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like this probably goes hand in hand with kind of opening up a brewery in a small town where it's like you just want to feed your people.
Right.
Like you just kind of want to survive and go into your brewery and see the same people all the time and live in your community.
Jobs. I'm taking care of my own community.
Right. Sounds fantastic to me.
Yep, I agree. That's exactly how LA is, I hear. Okay.
Oh, it's almost exactly like it. No one moves into LA. They're all just people here who have grown up here and
try to take care of their own community.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
All right. So what year did Storm Peak have their grand opening? 2014, 2016, 2018, or 2019?
Well, you mentioned I'm going to go with B.
I'll go. You're going with what?
B.
I'm going to stay with you on that one as well. I think that I feel like those numbers that you were just mentioning were probably answering this question.
I don't know, though. Hold on.
Oh, no. Where'd Vero go? Oh, no.
Right. We're all wrong.
We always got to wait for Vero to answer first.
No, I need Vero to slow down on her roll. Because if we're going to start keeping track of who's right and who's wrong.
Yeah, I'm just going to go with Vero.
I know.
Yeah, but that's going to be the fun. If we start keeping track, then Vero could really screw with us. She could throw us off.
She's a nicer person than that,
I think she's just more competitive than that, and I don't think she would be wrong. And I'm okay with that. I can recognize that.
But is it A, 2014?
It is A.
Of course it is.
So anyway, they had their grand opening in 2014. In the 2016 was when they moved into that larger location. And they completed that move in 2017. So they've been operating out of that larger location.
This makes good sense here.
Yeah. Anyway, so Vero did just say that she was supposed to get this beer in her beer drop because we do post what we're going to be getting in advance, so everyone can at least try and find it or find something similar to it. And I guess that it did not show up in her beer drop, and that they've stopped a lot of their distribution within beer drop. So. Sounds like it's time to open this beer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll open it up.
I just opened the beer. Sorry.
No. We should start drinking it, get some ideas of it while we answer the next trivia question.
Yeah, so we've started going through trivia as we start trying the beer to give us a few more seconds to think about this beer before you get a knee-jerk reaction.
Well, because with a lot of beers, as you drink them, the flavor changes. So the first couple sips sometimes are great, and then the beer steadily drops off, or it gets bitter, or something like that. So we're trying to give it a little more time before we actually talk about what we think about it, rating wise. Also, I'd like to point out that I have a new cup today.
Oh!
Following my really nice untapped Teku glass broke.
Then they were sold out of them, right?
They were, so I couldn't get a replacement. So I made a plea out to the viewers, and Vero is the only one that loves me. Can I pour? You don't do well.
Yeah, I did great on this one, by the way.
No.
Look at this baby.
Not actually.
Jackpot.
Nice.
Anyway, so Vero sent me a glass, and so we have matching glasses to drink out of.
Aww.
I know.
Aren't you guys adorable?
We are.
Adorable.
Okay. Before we get into this beer, let's go to the next question now.
There we go. Now we're back.
How many beers does Storm Peak have on tap? 10, 14, 16, 18, or 20?
All those seem like a lot, actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with. I'm just gonna go with. No, B. I'm going to B.
You're going with B? I'm going to go C then. I'll see your B and raise you one.
And raise me a D?
This is no. I'm hoping Vero goes with D. It'd be the first time Vero's been right and it was D.
D for D.
D for Daniel, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
Correct. Anytime we go with D, it's for Daniel on this show.
You're terrible.
I'm going with C. 16.
Okay. So 14, 16, Vero says 20.
I was so close.
Oh, man. So I have 18. This may not be accurate as of today.
Wait, it was D?
It was D.
D, you have hurt me today.
I know. I'm trying to be better and actually get these right, and I was just way off. Love an 18D though.
So they have 18 beers, and that includes everything from sours to fruit beers. They have hard seltzer, standard things, and they do like this smash, hobby lager, etc. So they've got a pretty wide variety of what they're producing.
Okay, here's my question, and I've been meaning to bring this up.
Okay.
What you just mentioned that you said beers on tap and they have hard seltzer. Is hard seltzer technically a beer?
I think it's
It depends on who you ask.
It's tricky. I think that's an argument currently, actually.
Yes.
Because they're on Untappd. You can check in seltzers, and I'm always like, this isn't a beer. It's not a beer to me.
But I don't think it's a wine or something that I would not really expect on Untappd. I think it's kind of in that gray area.
Ciders are also on Untappd. They're not technically a beer. They're brewed similarly, but they're using apples instead of like your wheat and then like your.
I don't think of them as beers either. So.
Right. So I think it's a variant for people who are trying to like maybe get into that world. So from a marketing perspective, I mean, if you're offering a hard seltzer and you've got multiple people who are coming into your brewery, one of them doesn't like beer, now you have an option for them. You'll see a lot of breweries who have like wines on tap as well to kind of like broaden their, potential people to come in. So whether or not it's a beer, I think it's really smart for a brewery to have it on draft. I also think kombucha on draft is also really smart.
True, sir.
Because kombucha is delicious, and if someone is like DDing and they don't want to like be like, oh, I'm just drinking water, it looks the same, and that way they can be one of the crowd while still being smart.
Okay, Heineken 0.0.
I'm my dad. It's like, nope, you can't drive, and he's like, it's a 0.
Why even do that? Okay, never mind. That's beside the point.
I mean, I'm okay with like breweries having seltzers on tap. I just calling them a beer just doesn't sound right.
They're not a beer.
Yeah, I don't think so. But
are you upset that it was?
Are you upset that she called it a beer on draft?
Because I said a beer on draft at 18.
I'm not upset about anything.
Except we're not talking about can art here. Calm down.
Don't you bring up can art.
Don't you bring up can art.
I've got a lot to say. No, it was just it was a question because you see people check into things on Untappd like seltzers or lemonades or like, and you're like, is this where does Untappd have their line? Are they a beer check-in or are they just a drink check-in?
I think they're in everything but wine.
Wine or liquor?
Yeah.
Nobody's checking in liquor. Only the floor is checking in liquor. How much liquor have you had, floor?
But I mean, then you can bring up a hard seltzer. What's the difference?
It's still a much lower ABV. I think we're talking anything under. Well, technically there are some heavy ones.
I know. This is the confusing part. Where do they draw the line?
We can figure this out. So we've actually had a cidery reach out to us who wants to be on the show, who's from our area.
Yep.
I'd love to talk some more with them about the brewing, like the whole process of what makes a cider different from a beer. That would be great. When it comes to the seltzers, we could probably get into that as well. Seltzers are prevalent enough nowadays where we could figure out we could actually just sit down with somebody who makes a really good seltzer and say, hey, what's the carbonation difference? What are you doing here? Why is this happening? Why is this in the same vein as a beer? Because it doesn't feel like beer.
And is there a brewing process in a seltzer? How is a seltzer even made?
You tell me, Haas.
I know.
I didn't research this. We weren't talking about hard seltzers.
You
We're
can't.
talking about a hoppy lager.
This is like fact checking trivia. You can't fact check trivia. It's
Listen.
obviously right.
When we start making money on this, we can hire someone to fact check us in real time,
Now,
and maybe we can have this conversation.
look, one of the 3 people watching right now is going to fact check us.
Could you
So
imagine if we had a live, it'd be like Fox News. Every second it would be
They
like,
don't-
oh
they don't
God,
actually-
oh God,
I
no,
don't-
that was wrong. No,
Oh, trying to get first.
all right, so I guess to get away from the seltzer, let's get back to Hop You.
Yeah.
What
Okay.
is a hoppy lager?
So this is an open question. We've never done this before. I was trying to be fun, and also I was running out of time. And I
you're
did.
just gonna ask me an open-ended question?
Yeah. What do you think a hoppy lager is? Huh?
Obviously, it's a lager. It's not quite an IPA, but it's hoppier than a regular lager. I mean, I'm just reading the words on the screen, basically.
It's a lager that is hoppy.
Right. That's hoppier than a regular lager. So it's not quite an IPA. It's not quite a lager. It's a hoppy lager. Nailed it. Everyone, shut it down. The internet's over. Everything's been done.
Is there actually a definition for this, Tiffany?
So-
Or-
I have on here that a hoppy lager combines the clean personality of a lager with the hoppiness of an IPA. So remember
Nailed
that.
it.
Stop. Remember that a lager is bottom fermented and an ale is top fermented. Because the lager is a bottom ferment, a lot of the sediment falls, and so it's usually a much cleaner beer. So like for example, like a Pilsner is like a really clean.
Sure.
So that's actually one of them. They're using a Pilsner malt in this one. But anyway, so it's usually like a light, refreshing, and easy to drink lager with a slightly more distinctive and like complex flavor that you'd get from the IPA hops. So it's kind of like it's almost like a beginner IPA beer in the fact that it's really clean and easy, and it's not going to have that like really
It's not high bitter.
bitter, like that aftertaste that like, or pine trees, like you're just eating a pine tree kind of IPA that a lot of people sometimes.
That's my jam.
I do like IPAs, but this is a very good beginner beer. I love these. These are probably one of my favorite types of beers.
Everywhere we go, Tiffany finds a hoppy lager. And she's like, oh, hoppy lager.
Ah,
Oh, I'm a
Like-
hoppy Tiffany.
She's like James Woods from Family Guy. Oh, hoppy lager. Oh, hoppy lager.
Hoppy lager.
but anyway, so it's just not as robust as a typical IPA, and it is just a really clean, refreshing beer. Which I've had a couple sips of this one, and I will attest that this one is delicious.
Well, I say let's get into this beer because I have some things.
Some things to say.
Correct. I know that seems odd.
As you could tell by our cutscene, this is where we now review the beer.
And
Sorry,
what beer are we
I-
reviewing tonight? Hop You from Storm Peak Brewing.
Well, it's Hop U 13.0.
13.0. Oh,
This is a
I had
series
one
that
shot.
we do.
So actually, in all honesty, so I do like hoppy lagers, and I am a big IPA fan. And Tiffany's absolutely right. It's like the gateway IPA, like in the sense that it's a little hoppier than a lager, but it does drink really easily. I mean, you can serve this at a bar any day of the week, and people will throw it back like it's almost a Miller Lite at this point. But
I don't know. No.
yeah, I think so.
No.
Maybe I'm just over IPA, but this one gave me a weird first sip.
Really?
Yeah, it did.
really?
Yeah, it did.
Oh, wow.
I got a lot of like I don't know what it was. I got a lot of so we talked about like the pine tree aspect of things and like a lot of for me it like reminds me of Pine Sol, like the cleaner. I got a
Oh my
weird
gosh, you got a much different taste than I did.
I got a weird like cleaning agent like first
No.
taste out of this.
No.
Oh man, I
It's
got
been
a.
great ever since, but that first taste of it was super weird for me.
We were
Are you just trying to pitch Pine Sol since we have Pine Sol as one of our sponsors? Is that all? You were just trying to throw it in
It's the
there?
best way to clean your Kia Telluride. Okay. No, it was weird though, but it was like only like the first sip, and then after that, like everything else was fine.
Yeah. That's weird. So I'm getting a lot of like tropical,
Super tropical. I am
Right.
too. Yeah.
and like almost like a berry sweetness. Like it reminds me. So I'm a big fan of like acai bowls, which are like a berry bowl. They've usually got like chopped berries and stuff on top. Anyway, delicious. Highly recommend them. But that like berry flavor without like a lot of sweetness to it, where you don't like add sugar or anything. It's just the berries that kind of getting that note as well. So it's tropical with berries.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there's like a little grapefruity aspect to it, which I'm getting as well. Yeah. So Daniel's not getting any of this.
Dude, I got a very strange first sip out of this. No. I agree with both of you. Now that so I'm about halfway through it right now. And I agree, it's still delicious, and I agree with all you. But that very first sip for me was super weird, I can't place it.
I think you're doing it wrong.
We had wings earlier, like that.
I think you got to pass. Yeah, I think you got to like forget about that first sip because
No,
I don't think
agree.
that's supposed to be there.
No, I agree 100%. This is not a reflection of this beer's totality.
So,
that was for me. The first sip I got was like, the hell was that? Maybe I fucked up, and then I did. It was great.
Well, in like all fairness, we were drinking pale like
a Sierra Nevada
before this.
Sure.
Because I had a weird hankering for
But I don't
Sierra
think
Nevada
that's
earlier.
that.
Yeah, well, I'm just trying to think
I
of
don't know.
like what maybe like because that is a much pineier flavor.
Now I'm trying to be like super nerdy about it and going back through like food I ate today. Why is this not pairing well with the wings I had earlier?
God, you did that.
I did, yeah.
Caribbean jerk.
So
Come on.
Oh my God, Caribbean jerk! That's it. A taste of the islands, right on the front end of this. Pine salt, lemony. Lemonese island.
I cannot.
I can't handle you people.
Okay.
All right. So now that you're halfway through,
Now, honestly, though, it's a solid beer. Really, the first taste was weird for me, but absolutely. I don't get as much grapefruit out of the lingering effect. Normally, when something has grapefruit in it, it's always like the last thing that I'm still tasting is the grapefruit aspect of it.
yeah, mine's still like the berry.
Yeah,
like
definitely
the
a lot of
tropical
berry. Yep.
aspect is back. I do see where you're getting the grapefruit though, because it's that like bitter tartness.
Yeah.
Which I guess that is like if I just don't drink again, which that's stupid.
Not gonna happen.
But no, if I so I'm sitting here as we're talking, like I can on the back of my tongue, it is kind of that like bitter tart,
Sure.
like grapefruity taste. But that means I don't get to take another sip. Like I try.
Yeah, I was waiting for it. Yeah. We both paused.
Like, keep going. No, I like.
I know you do.
But then again, hoppy lagers are my jam.
This is Tiffany's jam, man.
Specifically picked this beer out for this box that I was like, oh, we're getting this one. This is what we're getting.
For me, I'm like, why are you pretending to be something you're not? Be an IPA, bro.
No.
No, but it's not.
Because I'm not just a beer drinker. Sometimes I drink seltzers.
I know.
I'm loving this beer. I loved it from the very pour to the first smell to the first sip that didn't taste like pine sol.
I'm sorry, I can't.
I'm this I could drink a lot of.
I'm sad I only have one.
Yeah.
Like I'm sad that I can't go get like a growler of it.
Yeah, this would actually be one of the beers I think, Daniel. I think when you mentioned like Miller Lite, like this would actually almost, since I don't drink Miller Lite anymore, like this could almost be one of those beers where I'd always have a 6-pack in the fridge.
Correct.
Like one of those like easy drinking. Like I don't care about I don't want to drink like a fancy beer, super expensive beer tonight. Let me just grab this like 6-pack, and I can drink a few of these and call it a night.
Absolutely.
So I'm a big fan of this for that reason.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that being said, let's get down to brass tacks. You're gonna rate this one?
For me, I'm giving it.
Wait, this is the part of the show where we rate this on Untappd.
Out of 5 bottle caps.
It's out of 5 bottle cap. Well, sort of, because Tiffany and I are supporters of Untappd now. So now we can rate on the 10th of a scale. So we're really gonna screw your math up. I hope you're ready, Vero.
I forgot all about that. I think I'm still like over the past like week, I've still been rating like on
Getting
the
a lot of
0.5.
3.1.
We both have, and I've noticed that. I said, "Oh, they paid to be supporters, and now they're still just doing the 4s, 4.25."
This is what I do with a 3.2. I'm like, is that even good? This isn't
No,
gymnastics.
I just scroll to like where the tick marks are.
Right,
I'm like,
exactly.
well, that's
So,
obviously
yes.
what I got.
Our ratings for the show match our ratings on Untappd. Follow us on Untappd Wish You Were Beer Show.
Correct.
0 out of 5 bottle caps. Technically, if you're drinking a Warhead beer, you're in the 0 something. So
It could be worse.
Not good.
So for me, I'm going to give this a 4.25.
Oh, nice.
I think this is just fantastic. I'm happy about it. I'm enjoying every sip of it from the beginning to end. It's so easy to drink. The tropical aspect gives it a little bit more depth than a Miller Lite, but it's not like overpowering to where it's like, oh, I can't drink that fruit beer. Like I could drink 4 of these easily, like without a problem. So for me, it's a 4.25.
I mean, 4 beers is a problem, but not a problem for you. I get it.
It's just a Tuesday night.
All right, Tiffany, what do you?
I am gonna go with a 4.5. This is amazing. I love this. For those who have not been following how I rate in the past, I usually rate my beers based on the type that they are and then my own personal preferences. So if I'm rating this, I'm rating it against other hoppy lagers I've had. This one's really good. I'm trying to keep the beer math simple by going with 4.5, but I really like this one.
I'm bringing y'all all down, so don't worry about it.
Anyway,
it's also 5.8 ABV is actually higher than I expected.
Yeah, but that's not bad still, though.
It's not bad, but I didn't expect it from the taste.
So yeah, you can't. This is basically juice. This is delicious.
Yeah, basically
anyway,
juice.
I'm going with 4.5.
Nice.
And as I go, I keep thinking it's going to be higher. So, but I'll go with 4.5. But it just continues to be delicious.
I was going to say, I agree with you in that capacity. Obviously, it got better for me the more I drank of it. Because I'm the only idiot who got pine sol in the nose and kept drinking it. He's like,
this tastes like chemicals. I should keep drinking it.
And eventually it tastes more like Clorox.
Getting a little 409 in here.
Now, like, I don't know what that taste came from, but like honestly, it is a great hoppy lager. Like it's exactly what they should be in the sense of there is a little bit of hop to it. There's still a little bit of fruit to it that makes it nice and clean and easy. So I'm gonna go with an even 4.
All right, that makes it easy for the math. For the show score, that's a 4.25.
Well, did we double cross-reference that with Barrow?
She doesn't have it, and she's very upset about it.
I just wanted to bring it up.
No.
Well, me neither. Could care less.
However, if you are drinking something different, you should let us know what you're drinking and if you like it, and let us know what you're rating it. And if you don't have an Untappd, it is a free application that you can put on your phone, and you can drink beers and check them in. You can take photos. It's kind of like a beer social media.
For us, it's really a great way of remembering where we had a beer, what the beer was, did we like it, if we see it again, because we're constantly checking beers when we go places. Like, have I had this before? Oh, I have, but what score did I give it? Great, I'll buy another 12-pack of it, because that's what they have.
Right, and we try not to double check beers in.
Right.
Oh, yeah. I went golfing the other day, and I've been they had like a really cool beer fridge that actually had some decent beers I've never seen before. And I was like, great. So I'm like grabbing different ones, and like I get so mad when I go to check one in and it says you've checked this in before.
Oh, that's the worst.
I was like, oh,
it just happened to us today at lunch. I got a beer and I was like, never heard of this. And she was like, I'm pretty sure you checked that in with me like last month. And I'm like, damn it.
You're like, let me not take 3 seconds to check. I'll just order it.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. The waitress was very attentive, but she was like standing there, like, "Well, this is a $3."
Like, I'm not going through my Untappd
because it's happy hour. And so he was like, "Well, yeah, that doesn't sound familiar." I was like,
Well, that is a good score for this. And you know what? I didn't even talk about can design because honestly, the can design's fine. And that's I don't have anything negative. I don't have anything great.
Everybody's doing fine.
we're doing fine, and I think that's all we can ask of
Yeah.
people today.
And so normally we would do a section on here where we go through the Untapped and go through the Untapped reviews. There wasn't a whole lot of reviews on this beer. And the ones that we did find were relatively non-exciting and non-anything.
And that's the problem with doing 13 versions of a beer,
Right.
if not more, since it's 13.0, which means they've done the decimal points.
Correct.
And so I didn't want to bring up some Untappd reviews from a different version that we were doing.
Oh, because if we double check them in on Untappd, I would have like 8,000
Right.
beers. Because if I checked in every Miller High Life, I'd look like an alcoholic.
Right. So my reasoning for not double checking them in, I will sometimes go back and edit the score. So I will check and see if I've had it and if I'm drinking it again. And either I like it more, or I didn't add a photo, or something changes in like my review itself. I will go back and edit it. But I try not to double check them in because that would mean I need to check in every beer I drink. And I barely have the like mental capacity to check one beer in because I have ADD.
Yeah, I lose
and
you
so,
shortly after you start checking a beer
I
in.
try and check a beer in, and it usually takes me 30 minutes because I'm too busy talking to everybody else and I keep getting distracted. Checking it in multiple times is just not within my personality, and that's fine.
For me, it's about how I use the app. Like, so I only use the app to see what beers I've had. So it's like,
right.
if I've already checked it in, I'm not going to spend my time checking it in again. I don't need
Right.
to know that.
If I'm going somewhere where I'm just going to have a Miller High Life or whatever, I know I've had that. I'll have that.
Yeah.
Great. Whatever. Bring it on.
So that's my reasoning. But for everyone else, I mean, if you want to double check in, we're not against the double check in.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Just-
we're not Mennonites.
Yeah. Whatever works for us.
I don't know enough about it to make.
I
fun
know,
of it.
no one does.
Okay, so like we said in the beginning, we have multiple segments to the show. This next part of the show, we're not going to do the Untappd reviews. We are going to go straight into our Wish You Were Beer section. And this is the point of the show where we talk about literally anything from the week that we wish was beer. So, with that, Daniel,
Boy, right to the guns, huh? Okay.
look at it, double finger.
Yeah, thank you. Well, thank you for not double fingering me. I think there's a better way to present that. So honestly, this week's pretty easy for me. And I know we've talked a lot about a lot of things going on, but from the corona into things, not the beer, the virus. I just wish ivermectin was beer.
Oh, you're going with this one. Okay.
Correct. Yeah,
I
100%.
didn't know this.
I'm going
I
to
wish
sit down.
ivermectin was beer because, good Lord, just drink beer, people. Please don't be that stupid. Please do not take ivermectin. It is not rocket science. It will not fix your COVID. You're an idiot. That's it.
I feel like I missed out on this.
Ivermectin is a horse dewormer.
Oh, this
I mean,
is okay.
it's,
Yeah, okay, no,
it's
I remember.
basically a borderline pesticide. Like,
Yeah.
it is rough.
Yeah,
dude.
it's you're not a cow, you're not a horse. Please don't drink this. I saw that tweet. Okay,
Please.
got it.
Jesus Christ. Do not take ivermectin.
Okay, I won't
Well,
again.
actually, at this point, just fucking take it.
What am I going to do with all the whatever you just said that
I
I've
love that
ordered?
you have a stash of ivermectin that you've been selling to the Midwest. You
Got a
jack.
huge stash.
I moved to LA for the ivermectin.
Yeah, it's much easier to get. Just cross the border, bring it in.
So mine's really easy. But yes, actually, to Vero's thing, I've been drinking Pine Sol since day one, and I am fine.
It's kind of like drinking bleach, but it's a little bit safer.
But it puts the light inside me. Okay, continue.
But it's got the IPA flavor that he's looking for.
Okay.
Loves those piney hot flavors.
All right, you put me on the spot. You're up.
All right.
Don't you
So
Afghanistan me.
no, I did talk about Afghanistan last week. I'm trying to keep this a little lighter because today was rough. So my Wish You Were Beer is much more basic. Today we had pumpkin spice lattes. I technically had a dirty chug.
Oh, I had a PSL.
He did.
He kissed my ass.
He had a full, like, don't add or take anything out.
Nope.
It was exactly that. But I had a dirty chai, which is not as cool as it sounds. It is simply just a chai latte.
Nothing sounds cool about a dirty chai, by the way.
But it's a shot of espresso in your chai latte. It's delicious. Highly recommend it. But I added 2 pumps of pumpkin spice because apparently it's August and
fall.
we're doing this. So my wish for beer is just I wish that we would reserve autumn things for autumn. However, I 100% still had some in my latte.
Well, that being said, we had a pumpkin beer recently too, and you were super amped about that, regardless of the time of year.
I am so
She was like,
basic.
throw that yam beer down.
I'm very basic. Autumn is my favorite. It's been very hot, like 100 degrees hot, and that is not my jam. I'm looking forward to sweater weather. That's okay. That's also one of my favorite SNL skits.
I gotta say, one of the worst parts about living in LA is not having like an autumn.
Yeah.
Because like suddenly it's like pumpkin spice everywhere, and it's like it is still hot. Like why? Like no one wants your spicy pumpkin right now.
Or a hot beverage. Ugh.
Right.
It's also my porn name, Spicy Pumpkin, in case you guys are wondering.
Which is uncomfortable because mine is hot beverage. So you put us together, it's game over.
And Tiffany's is hobby lager apparently. So we are quite the trio.
Best episode ever shot in the history of film.
I wish you were beer this week because I did buy a car. I have obviously not bought one in 10 years, so I have been looking at accessories. And I wish that car accessories were beer because I can buy beer easily. I mean, I just look and I can buy it, but a car accessory, you're either getting something with Daffy Duck on it or you're getting something with gems on it. Like, why are car accessories so freaking ugly? What is going on? Yes, tell me, Tiffany.
Why?
You can't interrupt this.
No, you can. I'm dying to know.
In the middle of a hot take, and you're like, hold on.
Tell me.
Why are you accessorizing your car? Because
why not?
Because no. Because they make car accessories for very specific people, and they make them specifically for those people.
Paid $80,000 for a vehicle. Let me accessorize it.
Don't pay $80,000
So I think the term accessorizing you're thinking of like I'm like decking, like I'm like trying to make it look like pretty and something. No, I'm just talking about like
mud flaps on it.
I'm just talking about like general car like accessories. Like, what do I need in a car these days? I haven't had one in so long. Like, I'm looking at like, do I want like car protector seats sort of thing? Do I need better mud flaps? Do I need?
Yes.
Well, it's so hard to like figure out like which ones look like crap and which ones look good and which ones are like designed for like the 12-year-old teeny bopper and like
12-year-olds should not be driving. Let's just throw that out.
If they are, though, it's always fluffy dice.
Oh my God, that's a good one. Thank you, Vero. I do need some fluffy dice. I need some baby blue fluffy dice for my baby blue car.
That's kind of University of North Carolina, but that's fine.
No, the only thing that you need in a car are all-weather mats, which I know in California you're not getting a whole lot of rain, but there's a lot of sand, and they're very easy to vacuum out because you listen.
Okay.
Do you plan on going to the beach or?
No, I'm with you. I've been looking at them. They're hard to figure out what size you get because
you can go to Costco and stop. This is real life advice, everyone. You can go to Costco. You get the ones you cut yourself. They're way cheaper.
They're not a sponsor of ours.
They're not. No, I do love Costco though, and I have been a huge supporter of Costco. And they're free. Like they're not free, but they're like my mom would buy it, so then it was free. But the pizza anyway.
So the cut, I've seen the cutting ones, and I've been wondering if that's the route I should go, especially because I'm in a smaller car, which has very interesting size.
You're very good with scissors.
Yeah, I am. Okay. And then should I get the Daffy Duck car seat cover? Is that something I should do?
Are you going to have a baby duck eventually? Then yes.
And the lights, do I want lights that glow that make my car bright? Am I that person?
Sir, Paul Walker was once that person? Then yes.
Fast and the Furious 2 for sure. Too Fast, Too Furious. That could be on our Too Fast, Too Furious podcast that we do on, I think, Wednesdays at like 1 to 1:15.
You're really missing out on Phil's Vin Diesel impression.
That's Rocket League and the Herman's at 6.
Oh, shit, that is just Rocket League. You're right. Never mind.
Right.
Well, anyway.
So that's mine. So if anyone has any car accessories, advice, or things that they have bought for their car, please let me know. Phil@wishyouwerebeer.com. Just send it over to me.
Hey, what are we doing next week?
Next week we have another from our beer drop. We have Ghost Drifter from Odyssey Beerwerks. That is how it's actually spelled.
I think it's for Beerwerks.
I think it's just
Nope.
beer.
That's fine.
Nope, it's Beerwerks.
Until we get corrected, we'll go with Beerwerks.
That's how they spell it. I double checked.
No, I know.
I would like to be the first one to correct you. It's Beerwerks.
No, but that's how they spell it, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Which
Beerwerks, I believe, is how it's pronounced.
There's no accent on that.
It's Weirks. Yeah.
okay.
I like the name though. Ghost Drifter is a great name.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see what the can art looks like. I know it's in our fridge right now, but I don't remember to look at them.
No, we put them in there and then forget.
We have to
that they
hide them
exist.
from me.
Yeah, we have to put them in a very specific place so Demon does not drink them because that has happened before. So they are in the door. Don't even look at the door. Open the fridge. Get whatever you need.
They're in the door. No.
All right. Well, anyway, if you can find the beer, it's one of our Denver areas from the beer drop. Otherwise, grab whatever you can that's similar to it. You can look it up on Untappd. They have a website. Go check out Odyssey Beerwerks. Bring whatever you want to the show next week. We are here live every week on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern or whatever time that is where you are.
It's 8 p.m. Eastern, wherever they are.
Right. I meant like, is it 5 like Phil? Because Phil's
But
having
it's not 5 Eastern for me.
Correct.
No,
exactly.
no.
It's 8 p.m. Eastern. For
I'm so confused.
It's fine. This is why I'm going to let it close out the show. Daniel.
Follow us on Instagram and you'll find out what we're doing next.
Please.
We also have Facebook, and some of you are,
Oh, God.
on there. We're trying.
Just let Phil take this show out.
Sorry.
I need a good ending that like allows me to close out the show.